All right, guys. I think I'm going to send this. I think a lot of people are overcomplicating client acquisition in SMMA, and there's chance that you are as well. Like I think if you're starting out, it can be really confusing. There's a ton of information all over the place, um, and it's really easy to be overwhelmed by the amount of information in the business and like in the space, right? So backstory on me and who I am. I started my business about 2.5 months ago. That was when I officially launched it. I didn't really start working on doing on the right things till about a month ago, to be honest with you. I spent the first month just kind of twiddling around. I mean, we did a lot of outreach. We sold six free trials, got results for all of them. None of them paid us. So that would be my first lesson. And I'm going to go into a whole separate video where I talk about the main lessons, main takeaways that I had so I can kind of help you guys move along faster. But the first thing is don't do free trials because you're probably not going to get paid. So about a month ago is when I finally started like figuring out how to build enough value so that I could get PIFs and basically, not necessarily a PIF, but people to pay us up front, like on the call with them and get payment, Stripe invoice paid when I was there, right? And I can even, I'm happy to show you that. Let me share my screen. Um, this is actually my first ever video, so hopefully this is enough value. I'm like literally have no intentions here. I'm just completely showing you everything because I think realistically, if I had a video exactly like this when I started, like 2.5, 3 months ago, um, I would be 2.5, 3 months ahead of where I am now. So it's just me trying to do the same thing and pass this down, right? So the first week of April is when I put it together, and I didn't really like put it together. Like I'm not at 100K a month right now or anything like that, but I just figured out an outreach script, an outreach process, a sales process that worked. And I also just realized that we were not doing anywhere near enough volume, right? So proof is in the pudding. Here is April, around literally around the first week of April. Like if you look at your calendar, pull mine up. So there was yeah, April 1st was a Monday, right? So literally that weekend, going from the end of March into the first weekend of April is when I was like, all right, we need to about a month in at this point, nothing's really working. I need to completely change course, or at least make some tweaks because I had in the first couple of weeks, 3 weeks in, I did pretty well, I thought, because I got a bunch of free trials. Hey, newsflash, it's really easy to sell people when they don't have to pay you. And so those basically we came to the end of those months with all those clients and nobody paid us. And so I was like scrambling. I was basically a month and a half in at that point. I was like, we need to completely change everything. I need to figure out how to get people to pay us up front. Right. And so what I'm going to show you here, I changed some things around, nothing really rocket science, but I'm going to show you. And you can see on April 9th. Yeah, April 9th. $1,000 invoice was paid, came in, and then 4 days later, or yeah, on the 13th, another 1,000 invoice came in, right? So that was good. First week, right, of redoing, kind of changing things and what we're doing here and now, and it worked right away, right? So I want to show you that. And what I think a lot of you guys are going to be unhappy to learn is we did this through cold calling. Took about 150 to 200 calls a day to book enough meetings so that we boiled down to 2 clients in that first week. Now, what I'm trying to work on now is refining my actual sales process so that by the time we get to a meeting with somebody, we're taking payment on that first call. Both of these guys, full transparency, we had an initial meeting with them. I think this guy, like that paid us on the 9th. I had an initial meeting with him about not a full week, about 4 or 5 days before that. Same thing here with this guy, right? So this guy actually reached out to me on a Saturday morning. The 13th was a Saturday. Reached out to me and said, "Hey, Noah, I want to get started with the program." And I called him right away, and he sent me an invoice, or I sent him an invoice, and he paid it. So how we went about doing that, the cold calling, right? First couple of things that you need to figure out and that you need to implement, because like I'm serious, if you do all this kind of stuff, like there's no reason that you shouldn't have your first clients in a couple of weeks. So We got our originally we got our leads through D7 Lead Finder, our Leads Gorilla, and we switched to D7 Leads Finder. Leads Gorilla for cold calling was actually better. The reason we switched was because it was quite intensive to get leads. Like they were really accurate, really precise, but it took a lot of time. And so I was kind of thinking, hey, maybe we'd be better with something that's going to do more of a bulk scrape. And it turns out your answer rate just goes way down and you get a lot of people that aren't really in your niche and in your industry. I will say as a caveat with cold calling is it's going to depend on what niche you're in. Like cold calling works for me because of my niche, but if you're in, I don't know, something where you're going to run into a lot of gatekeepers and not a lot of decision makers, then cold calling might not be the best bet for you. But for me, I'm just sharing what worked and what got me up off the ground. Like I said, this didn't make me rich, but it works and it worked pretty quickly, and I think it can help you out as well. So for my industry, I think for most industries that are even comparable to mine, you can read this and kind of tell if it will work with your clients, right? So without talking about what industry, what niche, and whatever like that, because it's going to vary massively for everybody. But um, all we do, you know, hey, confirm who the business is. If we're talking to the right person, hey, is this blah blah blah? And if they're a serious business owner, they're probably going to answer the phone with, hey, this is blah blah blah, right? So you don't necessarily need this. But from here, right, we introduce ourselves, right? So my name is Noah. I'm from my company name, Ridgeview Media, right? I'll be honest, like we've never spoken before. Can I give you the reason for my call? Right. Awesome. So we're over in where your city is, right? We work with your niche and can guarantee estimates on your calendar or you wouldn't have to pay us. Can I give you the 20, 30-second scoop on how that would work? Super simple. Like literally that simple. When you say that, you've been polite with them. Like you tell them you don't know who they are. You're just cold calling them basically. It's super polite. Most people are going to be inclined when you ask them this question, they're going to be relatively inclined to hear you out. If they're super turned off by the fact that you're calling them, trying to solicit them, they're going to tell you no there, which is nice because it gives you an easy out. And instead of through this all this friction and difficulty, it's just giving them an opportunity similar to Thomas Gannett's video where he basically asks them if he can pitch them or if they'd rather just hang up, right? Similar concept. But you're giving them a little bit of value in why you're calling first. So it's really an opportunity for them to know from there, right? So then we tell them, right? We just tell them exactly what we do for them. You can read that there, but this is exactly what we do. And guys, if you want this, I don't know if this resource would be valuable to anybody, but I'll put it in the description or you can DM me and I'll give it to you. But we basically just tell them exactly what we do, and then we ask them if that's something that we think would help that they think would help their business, right? So very clear description of what it is that we do, followed by, is that something you think would help your business? Friendly questioning tone, right? Like, I don't know if it's going to help your business. Do you think it would help your business? Right. From there, honestly, you're going to get, it's a solid 60-40 of people that will say, yeah, if you get to this point, some people, they'll hang up on you here, right? Can I give you the reason for my call? Click. Most people, if you say this, they'll say, sure, some will fall off here, right? You say, I have these it's a funnel, right? You have these people, you have this funnel of, on my whiteboard back there, I got a funnel. It's a similar thing here, right? So you have the easiest hang up here, second level of hang up here. And then this here is like, hey, if you answer this question honestly, then you're going to basically commit and I'm going to be able to set an appointment with you. Right. And that's just an honest it's an honest, genuine way of giving them more and more information at each interaction. But at each interaction, you're also engaging them. Right. So I hear a lot of calls where it's just like kind of what I'm doing right now. It's just one person on the call that's making the call, just talking at the person on the other end. And it's super like, dude, if you've ever had somebody cold call your phone, you know why you shouldn't do that. It's so unattractive. It's like, I don't even know who I'm talking to. I don't know. Like, you're just sitting there waiting to give them a no. Right. So this, you kind of let it breathe a little bit, give them their out. Right. And then from here, is that something you think would help your business? If they say yes, a lot of them will. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Right. Cool. Well, I tell you what, I have actually a Zoom demo prepared to show you exactly what we do. Just gives you a full information so you know exactly what you'd be getting your toes into, and I can get into pricing and all that. Would you have some time for that maybe later this evening? Sit and you set the appointment. There will be times where you get a little bit of resistance. How much does it cost? Like all sorts of stuff. And I've created some objection handling and stuff like that for this. But for the most part, honestly, a solid 70% of your appointments, you will get yeses here. And you can just go into setting it. And then the focus becomes getting it to show up, right? So you don't want to just say, okay, great, we'll call you at 7 o'clock, right? No, you want to actually make sure you tie it down and get it pretty, pretty solid set. You do a little bit of a discovery process if possible. But you can also just leave that for the Zoom. But if you can do a bit of a discovery on the spot, it's going to really help your show up rate, and it's going to help their desire to get on the call with you later, right? So um, I'm going to keep it all kind of higher level for now, no pun intended, as I come over to high level. And I'll get more into this stuff. Like, as you guys put comments in this video if you want me to go more into depth with any of these steps. Like I said, I've never done this before. I've never created a video in my life. So I'm just kind of showing you everything here. Once we set the appointment, by the way, is going to be on a Zoom call. We do a screen share and walk them through a proposal that I'll get into. But once we set the appointment, we have this automation built into the high level calendar. So we come in here, put the appointment in, and they get a confirmation email immediately, right? So that's the trigger. When we do that, why is it spun up? Where's it at? Seems like this is not. There we go. I knew something was wrong. So yeah, once we're in here, this is what the original confirmation email looks like. Now, I've made a couple tweaks to this before. So basically, what you don't want to do in this confirmation email is send them the Zoom link. Because if you do that, it's going to really increase the odds that it goes to spam. It's going to hurt your deliverability. So you want to make sure you keep this, as it is right here, as we have it, works just fine. You can tweak this however you want. I don't care. I'm just showing you what works for me, right? Hi, your appointment has been confirmed. Please reply with yes, and we'll send over the Zoom meeting link in the following email. Now, this is key, right? This is actually pretty significant, and I think it's really helped us get between, depending on who's working this system I'm showing you here, 60 to 70% show up rate is what we've seen. I'm trying to shoot for 75 because that would be sick, but 60 to 70% is pretty solid. So what we do is, while we're on the line with them still, once we've confirmed the time with them and that they're, we're going to set them an appointment, we start putting it into high level, like fast, right? You try to do it while you're on the line with them, stall a little bit. Oh, yeah, okay, great. Give me 1 second here. Make sure that time's available as you're frantically typing in their name and info, because you're telling them you're going to send them a confirmation email. And you're going to say, okay, I'm going to send this confirmation email over. Just help me make sure that you got it. Let me know. And it goes out right away. I've tested this dozens of times. It goes out right away. And tell them while you're on the phone with them. It says it in the email, but say, great, you got it? Okay, awesome. If you got the email, please reply yes to it. Because when you send back a yes, it's gonna kick in the auto response for us to send you the Zoom link, right? And you can, if you're having a thorough conversation and you're have good rapport with the prospect, you can tell them what's going on. You can say, yeah, if we send the Zoom link right away, it hurts the deliverability, whatever. But newsflash, obviously, you're going to be sending them the Zoom link again, regardless. But you want to get that yes back, because then the two email accounts have interacted with each other. And it's going to really help the deliverability, and you're at least ironing off the possibility that any of these ever go to the spam box, because that will happen. If you send this automation and you have, especially if you have a link in the first email, you're going to get these to go to spam. But even if you don't have the Zoom link in the first email, some of them may go to spam. I've tested it a couple times. So we send them a confirmation email, a 24-hour before, a 1 hour before, email and SMS 5 minutes before, and that's it, right? So what we then do, we get them on the call and go through the actual sales process. Now, this video, yeah, it's already pretty long. So I think I'm going to stop this one here. But as far as appointment acquisition, I guess, client acquisition, but generating appointments, that's how we do it. It's cold call. We use a list from Leads Gorilla or D7 or whatever. Hey, if you don't have any money, just Google, like go on Google and Google your niche in my area. Definitely start if you're in the US, start in your city. Like if you guys in the US that are like calling cities all over the country are shooting yourselves in the foot. Why would you not call somebody local, right? I live in Michigan. So when I call a lead that's in Michigan, and I say, hey, my name's, whatever, is this ABC company? Great. My name's Noah. I'm from company. I'll be honest, we've never spoken before. Can I give you the reason for my call? Sure. What's going on? Right. Awesome. So we're over in Shelby Township, right? Like, where I am. Like, you've heard of my city before. I'm over in Metro Detroit, whatever. Um, you're gonna know who, like, it helps lower resistance so much because most of these people that are getting cold calls, it's gonna be from people that are foreign, international, and it immediately heightens their resistance. So if you're local to America, like, and you're in America, you need to be starting out trying to get your first couple of clients in your backyard. There's no reason to go about it any other way than that. Get a couple local clients, man, and then get some revenue in so that you can quit your job, and then you can go from there. Okay. Oh, and by the way, just because you are international doesn't mean that you can't be successful doing exactly this. I have two cold callers that work with me right now, and one is in Egypt, one is in Pakistan, right? So, guys, if you have an accent, there's no reason that you can't do this and have it work because they're generating appointments, right? And in fact, I think this. So I had this up because I wanted to show you just like again a little bit of proof in the pudding that this was actually working. So this was our first day of working this system, right? So Monday I didn't really have anything because I set a bunch of appointments for Tuesday. So I set a 10 a.m., a 10:45. This is calls from Monday. This one here was from the leftover Friday. It didn't show. It was the old system. This 10 o'clock, he didn't show. 10:45 showed. 12 o'clock, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. Oh, and we had an 8:15. This was scheduled this Monday. This was the same day. Right. So first day of cold calling, we set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 appointments. Not a bad start. One person calling. I say we, but it's me. So Wednesday, started calling. Tuesday, I didn't have as much time to call as you can see because I was doing outreach. 8, 7:30, 7. So I had 3 onboarding call, and then demo on Friday. So what is this? 1. This counts as a 1. This is a guy I called. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, guys. I mean, 14 appointments in a week. From basically one person doing it part time because I was taking sales calls. I was trying to manage the clients that I ended up, well, I guess I didn't close anybody this week. So this is true. It's pretty much all I was doing. I was just doing cold calling and the sales calls, right? And so I scheduled 14 appointments in a week, right? Just by calling by myself. Um, this is this exact date range, this exact week I wanted to show because that's when this happened. So, a lot of information. I know it's kind of fast, kind of sporadic, not organized at all. Wasn't scripted, wasn't planned. I just wanted to get on here and show you this because I just, I really think that this can help some people. And I think if you run this, you can get clients, man, and you get people to pay you up front. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my actual sales process, and I'll show you a little bit about that. But it's really simple. So biggest thing here, guys, just don't overcomplicate what you're doing. Break it down to basics. All you really need, right? Think about it. You need, in order to earn money doing this, you need to talk to enough people till you find somebody that is in the right place at the right time that you can convince to give you money so you can help alleviate some of their pain and some of the problems that they're having with your solution. And that's really it. So thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.